All right, so these have been some really fun innovations this morning, but this next subject is incredibly serious and personal to so many of us. I want to ask everyone a question. Raise your hand if cancer has touched your life in some way. Right, virtually every single person's hand is raised. Many of my colleagues and I are wearing these green bracelets for our colleague who's fighting cancer right now. Our next guest believes that Israeli scientists will be the ones to cure cancer, and indeed they are getting closer with each passing day. Please welcome Dr. Mark Israel. Hi, Dr. Israel. Nice to see you.
Nice to be here.
So, you know that you have some very impressive credentials. You're a pediatric oncologist and a clinician, but you're also the executive director of the Israel Cancer Research Fund.
I am.
Can you tell us about the organization?
Sure. ICRF, the Israel Cancer Research Fund, is a almost 50-year-old nonprofit 501c3. We raise money across North America, and we fund a series of grant programs to which Israeli scientists and Israeli institutions apply. And this year we're funding almost 80 different projects in virtually every major biomedical center in Israel.
That's incredible. So a few months ago, some of us read this article that there's an Israeli company that is claiming that they can cure cancer in 1 year. Is that possible in your opinion?
It's not possible. We're all very enthusiastic about what's going on, especially in Israel in cancer research. But the development of a new treatment requires first target identification. I mean, what are you going to build the therapy against? And then the development of that therapy, drug development, and then testing for toxicity and efficacy, and ultimately testing to see if it's better than what we currently have. And each of those steps takes many years, and most companies are struggling just with target identification. So I think we can be very hopeful, but it's not going to be a cure next year.
So you're talking about this research progress that you guys are making. Are there specific breakthroughs that Israeli scientists are coming up with?
Oh, absolutely. And Israel Cancer Research Fund has the distinction of having been the instigation and funding of some very important findings and very important drugs that are now in the clinic. But right now, there's a tremendous focus on treating cancer once it has spread from its original location in the tumor. And one of the major strategies in doing that is immunotherapy.
Yep.
And right now, out of Israel, there recently was a major set of discoveries that took actually several decades to evolve. And this kind of therapy is called CAR, C-A-R, T-cell therapy.
Okay. CAR T-cell.
CAR T-cell therapy involves removing blood and then isolating the immune cells from a cancer patient and treating those cells in the laboratory, then reinfusing them. The cells go everywhere in the body, and they fight the tumor.
That's amazing.
And there have been some absolutely remarkable accomplishments, especially in leukemia, and now across the U.S. in virtually every major cancer center, CAR T-cells are being tested against various kinds of tumors.
And are there other breakthroughs that you're excited about?
There are, especially in Israel, there's a tremendous focus on another major area called targeted therapy. Again, focusing on treatments that go throughout the body, chemotherapy, drugs, were developed in order to kill rapidly dividing cells, cells that could be identified as being tumor cells. But of course, there are some rapidly dividing cells that are not within the tumor. And the drugs hit those normal cells. And that's the origin of some of the toxicities. And
which is what makes you sick if you're taking chemotherapy. And
bad aspects of chemotherapy. But targeted therapy is being developed in a way that first, the target is identified as a unique molecule that's driving a particular cancer. And then drugs are developed to target by inhibiting or enhancing that particular target. And so one expects increased efficacy because it's right at the tumor, and less toxicity, less bad side effects. because there's no target in normal cells that drug will hit.
That's amazing. And with all of these breakthroughs, do you feel like you're closer to finding a cure?
Well, cancer is hundreds of diseases, perhaps thousands. And so there's not going to be a cure.
One cure.
But there's an emerging flow of innovative, novel, highly effective therapies that are coming our way.
And I would imagine that it would be important for researchers and scientists to be able to collaborate and share information with each other about what they're finding. So what is our ICRF doing to reinforce that collaboration?
Right, well, collaboration is key because patients don't care where something is discovered. They only care when it's discovered. Right. And collaboration is a way to seek synergies and to enhance the speed with which new therapies are developed. So we have several programs. The premier program is a program to which Israeli scientists from any institution, along with scientists from the City of Hope Hospital in California, can apply for a grant, but with 2 locations where the research is conducted. And we also have collaborative grants that scientists from Israel can pick any American institution and any investigator and apply to us for funds for that collaboration. So the Israel Cancer Research Fund is laser focused on that.
That's amazing. So what you guys don't know is that Dr. Israel was retired and he was in Hawaii golfing, which sounds pretty great to a lot of us, but he was not enjoying his retirement, and he decided to come out of retirement to be the executive director of ICRF.
That's right.
Because you believe that yes, absolutely. Because you believe that there's something unique about Israeli researchers and scientists. What do you think sets Israeli scientists apart?
Well, I do. I had the distinct honor and pleasure to be on one of our panels of 3. Each panel has about 20 leading international scientists who review the proposals we get. We get just under 200 proposals a year, and we can only fund the highest priority of them due to the largesse and great donations from all of you. So thank you very much for your support. But we don't have enough money to fund all of the ones we want, so we have to prioritize these. And that was a key part of my sort of consulting for this organization. But what I learned is that there are so many great ideas from Israel that don't get funded. And the commitment to solving the world's probably largest health problem, to focus, the grit, the commitment, the adroit use of resources, all of those things that you heard about earlier today, all those characteristics, but also those characteristics that built the state of Israel and maintain the state of Israel. I want our organization to be able to fund and adequately resource Israeli scientists to bring those qualities to bear at an even higher level than they currently are.
It's amazing. And you and your team also have a booth here so people can come and learn more about what you do.
We do. We hope lots of you will stop by and learn from us.
Well, Dr. Israel, on behalf of everybody, thank you so much for what you are doing and for what ICRF is doing.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure.
So of all the stories about the incredible strides being made, there's one in particular that caught my eye since the patient is from my hometown of Chicago. Let's take a look at the story of Sam Fields. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Fields. Sam, we wish you and your family only the best, all good health and happiness, and we thank you so much for being with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Israel, helping to improve and to even save lives. Thank you to all of our innovators, and thank you to each and every one of you for being part of today's AIPAC Innovation Showcase. Enjoy the rest of your conference.